2016, everything started changing. A lot of people, they're intermixing. So now, if you won't see things differently. You will see like white people getting married with Spanish people, with Latinas, and then you probably will see a Mennonite getting married with a Mayan girl, or a mestizo, or with a Creole or a Caribbean. It doesn't matter. Everybody's the same, like I mentioned. But now, what happens if you don't know your history now? That's a big problem. Because majority, like I mentioned, if your descendants, they are from the British, and that's where the Creole came in play. Is the mixture between the Creole, the slavery, with the British, and that's where the Creole came. And their skin, they were more lighter, and their eyes are more like greenish, bluish, or like a honey color. So now, when they get married, they will have kids. Now the other generation, now probably they won't take out your color. It's gonna be like a darker color now, but it's your genes, your DNA. But now, when your child now has to have a grandchild now, that generation from your light skin with the green eyes, they will turn on. If you don't know your family tree, believe me, you're gonna cause a lot of problems. When your child is gonna be a lighter color than what you are, then you will say, you know what, you cheated on me. Why? Because that little guy doesn't have green eyes and I don't have green eyes. He has it. He's lighter skin. That's not my child. And that's what happens a lot of here in Belize with a lot of single ladies. Because of relationship, you get being, they get be broken because of that. But family tree, you don't know their history, and that's what causes it. Because normally, like I mentioned, at the end of the day, if you make a DNA, it's 100% your blood.
Welcome, Sawadi, Mahaban, Namaste, Hola, Privyet, Kaiso, Konnichiwa. We're all family here, so subscribe, share, and get your free ebook in the description below. Hello again. I am with my new friend Darwin. He is 100%-ish Mayan, but he has all the information. We're out here drinking some very sweet, natural watermelon juice.
Yeah, watermelon juice.
He said it was the best, and he didn't lie. And he's going to educate us a little bit about Mayan culture, heritage, all things Mayan. Maybe I'll leave here being able to speak Mayan. Not writing. But here we go.
In ancient Maya, it started on the Olmecs. Let me see where it started. In the Paleo-Indians, in the Ice Age, 10,000 BC to 5,000 to 7,000, that's where the Arcade Indians started when the Ice Age collapsed. Then from the Arcade Indian, it started from 7 to 2000 BC. That's where the Olmec and most modern civilized people came, and that's what we call the Olmecs. Now from the 2000 to 1500 BC, that's where the ancient Maya they came. And the ancient Maya, they were very intellectual. They were very smart in their astronomy, their mathematics, and also in their architecture. And so where could we find them? We always could find them mostly into the Mesoamerica. That's where from the Yucatan all the way to Honduras to El Salvador. And that's where the region we could find the Maya.
And I hear there's like 3 Mayans.
There's a lot of the Maya languages, but the main ones that we normally know is the Yucatec, comes from the Yucatan. We have the Quechua, that mostly could find in the Guatemalan area, and then we have the Mopan, that's in the mixture between the Yucatan and the Quechua people, and that's where the Mopan came to play. So now, if you are the Yucatec person who has the language of the Yucatan, you could have a conversation, and whosoever is the Mopan Maya would easily identify you that you are a Yucatec, because they have the 2 languages that are very similar to it. So that's one of the ways that you could see if you are a Yucatan or a Mopan. It has slightly the same words, but a different way how you pronounce it. Like bat, that's a monkey. Now in the Mopan, it's bat.
Bat.
That's a Mopan. You see, it's almost the same, but it's only like a singing word. And that's how you could identify them. And then the Quechua is totally a different word.
Probably is big.
The biggest in Tikal. Okay, because in 2010 they did a lidar. So when they did the lidar, they found that 25,000 acres of land, it was only terrace. Back then, it was a very, very massive land for you to propagate your crops because you have to feed approximately 150,000 to 200,000 people in that city. So you need a vast land. So from there, they compared the size of Caracol in the lidar. It had the same size of Houston in the States. I know that Houston is huge, right?
So then, what size would you say is comparable to Tikal?
Tikal is like I would say like a quarter piece. It's not big. When in 636 AD to 638 AD, that's when Caracol defeated Tikal, and that's we didn't have no history that Tikal came back on his feet, and that's where Caracol take the dominance of Tikal, made Tikal as one of their part of their city now. So that's why when you visited Tikal is where you get to see the two kings being buried at Tikal, Yashhateki Witch and Lord Khan II.
But there was a woman buried there too, wasn't it? The queen?
I'm not sure if it was the queen, but probably would be the king of Tikal.
Because there was the Jaguar temple, and then there was
Balam.
the
the Grand Jaguar, that's the skyscraper that normally we call, and that's close to the 700 when they start making, close to the Terminal Classic, that's when they start making those skyscrapers. Tikal is only for ceremonial purpose.
Okay.
And that's why you see Tikal is very important in the role of Caracol from 780 to Terminal Classic.
So being that you are Mayan, do you practice any like religious practices at any of these temples, or?
We don't go to the temples as normally we do. We find like a open space. Then afterwards we invite families, and then they start making their rituals, and especially when they're planting. And if it is dry season, they will be asking for the rain, to be coming. So what they will be offering a lot of stuff like special, all the fruit that they could find during those time is what they will be making their offerings there with some palmettos, and then they will have it like on a small little table. Then the kids, they are gonna be under the table, and they will be making the frog sound like rake. It's because they will be burning the incense of the copal, and that's because they were pleading for the rain to come. A lot of the Maya cultures, they will be making that for asking the rain to come. And when it does, the first rainfall that it will fall is where the first thing that they will be planting is corn.
Corn.
Why? It's because the corn represents where humans they were being created. So everywhere you go, corn is the first thing that they would plant.
So how else do you keep your culture alive besides doing rituals? Is there anything?
The clothing, the way how they dress, the language, the food, traditional food.
What's your favorite traditional Mayan food?
I would say tortilla with soup.
Soup?
Yeah, it's a soup. It's a local chicken soup. There's no vegetables, everything just local. They would have, the ingredients that they would find, probably cocoa or pumpkins, small squash. You'll have okra, young corn. They will put inside the soup, and that's how they will boil it. And then have the chili pepper. They will add it with a little bit of lime, and that's how it is. You eat it with tortilla now.
Okay.
But since it's modern, everybody they prefer rice with soup or tortilla with soup, or both of them.
You said you can speak Mayan. The Mayan culture, do they have an alphabet?
Well, the alphabet, one alphabet in the Maya word, it changes or varies to 20 sounds. It's not only one, like in Spanish, with the N, then you put the apostrophe on top of it, turns Enya.
Enya?
Enye.
Enye?
Enye. But in the Maya word, it changes 20 times.
Can you give me an example?
All right. Like cash?
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 Money?
No, it sounds like money. Cash? It's just probably would say like a chicken. Wakash? It's like cow. You see, you add a W, a cash, and then it's just a cow. And then chicken is cash. And then they have another word that's cash, and that's what they call the pottery. You see how it changes now?
Yeah. That's interesting. So tell me some more about like growing up Mayan.
Ruined Mayans. So the ruined Mayas.
No, you growing up Mayan.
Oh, grew up Maya. Oh. When I was growing, like when I was child, like I mentioned, everything that my grandparents that they would do, I will get to see it. Sometimes I don't know the meaning of it, but then once I start, growing up and then seeing, and then I ask questions and I see why are the reason they're making stuff or what's the purpose for it, and then I understand that every time of the cycle they would make a ritual, and especially they would follow the moon, especially in agriculture. So that's every Maya people, they will study the moon. When it's a young moon, they will plant things that are very they grow very fast, like ground food. Then when it's a full moon, then this is what they will be using for harvesting leaf, harvesting lumber. So that's why you see there's a lot of, especially if you go to the island, they have cabanas. Sometimes the rooftop they last for 10 years. The reason why is because the Maya people, they will study the moon. When it's like a new moon, that means it's a no-go. It's only for planting your vegetables, your crops. Quarter moon is just basically for fruits, like for oranges. It's gonna be it's big, very juicy. That's when they're gonna be planting their citrus. Now, like I mentioned, for harvesting leaf plants or sticks or lumber, it's gonna be on full moon. Why full moon? Is because if you notice on the full moon, everything in the water works with the moon. That's where in the island they have low tide, and that's when the xylem and the flowing of the tree is not very active. So you get to cut the leaf or the tree, and then the beetles are not being attracted. So that's why they last long. But if you cut it on the new moon now, a lot of people don't believe it. You cut it on the new moon, the xylem and the phloem, they are very active. So whenever you cut a tree, it has a lot of sap because they're very active. You cut it, it won't last long. In a month time, it has a lot of, little what we call the wood beetles, and the leaves, they won't last long. Just, you're losing a lot of money.
So what do you think, besides doing tours, is the best way to preserve Mayan culture?
History. Your history, and pass it on to generation. Because if you do not, especially if I do not put my part, then afterwards all my culture, my history is just fading away. And then what will happen? Everybody will just live life, laugh, and enjoy, never to know what's their background. That's one of the purposes that I enjoy, that I joined the tourism industry, because to teach others.
So right now, if someone couldn't do a tour with you, what would you want to teach them or would want them to know about your culture?
About everything. How about everything? About the agriculture system, and also about the medicinal purpose, what they normally, like I mentioned, they had no pharmacy, no doctors, they only had bush doctor. One of our ancestors used to be Dr. Aligio Pante, is being recognized by the Queen Elizabeth II, and he was one of the greatest guy. He found 200 types of plants that would cure cancer. What happened is that because of lack of interest of a lot of the villagers, the knowledge just disappeared away. Some of the people that they start, they only get to know a little bit of the knowledge, and that's what's going on to the villagers. Especially for snake bites, fever, chickenpox, cancer, breast cancer, he found all cures of it.
Did he write it down?
He had an apprentice. She's from the States. I'm not sure what's her name, but she has a book of the rainforest remedies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you read it? If we went to the rainforest, could you tell me what this was?
Plants, yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah. What every animal signify in the Maya culture also.
So jaguar is important, monkeys are important, snakes,
birds.
So I think there's over 100 animals that are significant. I know there's a large amount of gods. Do you know all the gods?
Well, the Maya, they had a lot of gods. They had the god of the forest, the gods of the animals. They have Chak, like I mentioned, the rain god, the god of fertility, the tree gods, Pash god. They have Kinichahao, that's god of the sun. What else? Hmm. They have a lot of gods. It's pretty hard to say, but the main ones are only this god of fertility, that's the shell, the sun god Ikinchahao, and Chak. Those are the three main ones. Then the rest, well, they are just gods that normally that guards the forest, the animals. So that's why they say whenever you're out in the jungle, they will try to test you. If you're by yourself, sometimes they will have like rocks. Whenever you pass to a mount of the Maya, there used to be like a house of the Maya. You pass there on your own without thinking anything, a rock is gonna be thrown you. Sometimes you'll turn around and you get to see the size of the rock. You will say, what happened? There's nobody around. Continue walking around. All of a sudden, you will get to see a deer. The deer comes, is just investigating you. And you will start chasing it, it will just stand right in front of you. If you don't pay mind to it, by the time you notice, there's no deer. It disappeared where it went. Nobody knows. All of a sudden, you get to see the third time, a bird is gonna be on top of you, following every move or everywhere you go. Finally, when you get to hit on a village or a road, none of those you get to see. Whenever you walk again, you won't get to see it again. It's only once in a while.
Wow.
Once in lifetime.
So, being that you have this passion for the Mayan culture, you do tours, like why do you think people should come to Belize?
There are many reasons why to visit Belize. It's not just the history, the culture, like I mentioned, the food, the people, they're friendly. And even if you want to just sit down and relax, the environment, get to know the people, then afterwards you will see that life is not just about traveling, enjoying. It's just to get to know people and to make friends. The more you get to know friends, the more friendship you have, the better it is. Then you have a clear understanding of your culture. And then at the end of the day, sometimes you will say, you know what? You treat me like family. And indeed, you are going to be like a family. Why? It's because of their friendship that they have. They won't treat you like a foreigner, but they will treat you like a friend or like part of a family.
So being that I think I can call you a friend, what would you want me as a friend to do to help preserve and educate people about your culture?
I would say probably if you spread the word, sometimes like I mentioned, if you have more, get to know the people, even a knowledge that you would take home and you start sharing with your family. Even if you have friends, you start sharing, then it will say, oh, that's cool, where do you learn it? I have a friend at Belize, he's a Mayan guy, he taught me this. I said, cool. And then by that, you're just showing them the love and also the history, part of the history that they had. And that's how you start spreading the word.
And do you believe that by just doing that, that will help preserve some of the Mayan culture and heritage?
Oh, yes. Because believe me, if our children or our people, they are a little bit of shame of their culture, and if you are not, considered as part of their culture now, but you are learning the language, it will motivate them. It's like an influence. Because they will say, you know what? That's a cool culture. Why don't you want to learn your language? I'm not from here, but I have some words. And they will be like, whoa. The name of Belize.
Who?
Bowen and Bowen.
The airplane?
No, the Bowen and Bowen is the one that has the, the soda factory from Coca-Cola.
Okay.
He's the only one that has the original name of this country that the Maya used to call it. Because of the wrong pronunciation, a lot of people, they will say Belikin. But original, it is Beltikin, meaning rose to the sun. It's a Maya word, but because of other people that would come, they start to pronounce it, they have the wrong meaning. So, and that's how Belize has its own name, because of Peter Wallace. So when the Spaniards, they came and they were looking for Peter Wallace, they would say Peter Belize, Peter Belize, Peter Belize. And that's when they end up in 1981 to the name of Belize. Yeah, the original name is Belikin. The beer has it.
Wow. You guys think you'll ever go back to that name?
I don't think so. In 1981, that's being established in name, and that's how it's gonna be. You're gonna die without it.
If you love this interview, we have more just like this. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our next adventure. Craving more travel content? Dive into my other videos where I explore both international destinations and hidden gems in the US. Passionate about Belize? Follow me as I uncover its wonders through the eyes of a trained anthropologist. Just here for some travel tips? I've got you covered with the best hacks to make your trip smooth and budget friendly. Share with your friends and join our travel community to stay up to date with all the latest adventures. Stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep exploring. See you in the next video. Bye!